that shit plays a part in that. That shit reached everybody in the fucking world by now. And, you know, look at the fucking Grammys back in '92. They wouldn't even air that shit on TV.
Well,
now,
not one
take hip-hop away.
Sight.
Take hip-hop out of the fucking Grammys. See what their ratings are like. You know what I mean? It's a fucking, you know, like, that's what I mean, man. Like, we can't hate on these young guys, man. Because they're like, yeah, we built that platform for them, man, but, you know, they took us somewhere, and like I said, that music ain't made for us, man. Like, I'm 33, man. I'm not supposed to be jamming out to, you know, Little Uzi Vert. I'm not supposed to be doing that. He ain't making that music for me, man. But, look, man, that they all played a part in that. Everybody from the fucking, you know, Sugar Hill Gang to fucking Little Uzi Vert. They all played a part in that shit becoming the number one genre in the fucking world, man. There's country artists doing hip-hop records.
Yeah, you know what, man? I wanted to...
Billy Ray
about
Cyrus
rappers that made an impact.
Hip-hop records.
Hey, I was going to say, too, because sometimes I got to blurt out because, you know, I have a train of thought that hit my head. I don't want to forget because, you know, sometimes I forget the question. But we talk about unappreciated rappers and people that put in a lot of work but are very overlooked. Let's talk about Saigon, man. Saigon is probably one of the most underrated cats I've heard.
My big brother, man. Look, shout out.
How did you connect with him?
Too. Look, I want you to fucking clip this up for me, man, so I can send this to him and send this to everybody. My entire life, Koji Rap was my fucking guy. I didn't give a fuck what anybody said. I didn't care what fucking little phase I went through. I would never ever say anybody was on G-Rap level, right? But when Saigon came out, that dude made these mixtapes, man. And I prided myself. Like, look, man, this is how hip-hop I am, man. My phone number was 69 for Jams, Jamz. That was my phone number back in the day, just by coincidence. And I was the fucking hip hop kid, man. I had fucking bootlegs. I had everything. People would call me, be like, "Yo, what's that song that goes like this?" And they would like say it. I'm like, "Well, first off, you fucked the bar up. It really goes like this." And that's this rapper on that album. That was the third single, and they're on this label, and they got a new joint coming out next month on the 3rd. Like, I knew every fucking thing. So when Saigon came out, he you know, his shit reached me like right around the time that like G Unit was big, D Block was big, and this dude had mixtapes. Like at that time, mixtapes were just people just taking popular beats and just rapping over them. You know what I mean? Like, they wasn't really that complex or nothing. It was just people just making joints over popular songs. Saigon came, man, and he had beats from, like, The Alchemist, and, I mean, he did a couple joints that were, like, classic beats. Like, he did something over, like, the infamous joint, you know what I mean, by Mobb Deep and shit. And, you know, he did a couple joints that were, like, classic beats and shit. But, like, for the most part, they were all, like, original beats. And this dude was, like, melodic and deep and lyrical. And the shit he was saying, it just, you know, at that time of my life, that shit was just, it was hitting me hard. And then I went away. I went to prison and shit. And when I was in prison, I used to tell people about him all the time, like, man, wait till y'all hear Saigon, like, because when I went away, he was up next. Him and Papoose, those dudes were up next. That was the next Jay and Nas. That they were next, and like, that was popular opinion. I mean, like, you know, Jay, like, if you go and look at Saigon's Instagram right now, he got a thing on from Jay-Z's birthday on the 4th. He made a post, a Jay-Z interview, where they asked Jay-Z who got next, and he says Saigon. Like, the dude was so fucking, like, it was just something, it was just like, damn, man, like, this dude's doing that? Like, and he was up next, man. I'm telling you, his shit was so dope, man, that I might be wrong on this, but I don't remember this before that. They started rating his mixtapes in the double XL and shit. They were giving him like double XL ratings and XL ratings and shit because his shit was so popping that like they were so ill that like you couldn't deny it. So when I went to jail and I was, you know, I went to the state prison and I was telling everybody about him, and then I was just waiting, man. I'm like, man, when the fuck is this dude gonna blow? Cause like I saw that shit in him. I'm like, man, that dude's a fucking star, bro. Like that's Tupac type shit. The shit that he's talking about, like the shit like The Color Purple, and I mean he had a bunch of records, man. Like they were just so fucking like deep and just, you know, and the way his voice was and his flow, like all that shit. He had every element of it, you know. I used to tell people all the time, like, man, he's Jay and G-Rap and Nas and all that. And then he said that shit in a song one time. I was like, damn, I'm glad he sees that shit too. I'm not wrong about him, you know what I mean? And then when I came home, like the first joint that I think I heard whenever I was up there that was on TV was Gotta Believe It, or Better Believe It. And it was with Just Blaze and shit, and he's Just Blaze's artist. You know, he was on Fort Knox, that's Just Blaze's label. And that song ended up, like, inspiring a bunch of shit. Like, Mano's joint with T-Pain. I don't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. But, like, it's the same type of record, you know what I mean? And I was just waiting for him to blow, and you know, then like, you know, being in prison, you don't like hear everything. And like it came out that like, you know, he was on Atlantic, and Atlantic wanted him to like, they shot down his first single, and they wanted him to do a record with like Pretty Ricky and shit, and he was just like, man, I don't even know if like, you know, those dudes are in videos putting baby oil on each other and shit. Like I don't know what to fucking do with that. Like that ain't what I do, you know what I mean? So they shelved him. The Greatest Story Never Told was his debut. It didn't come out for a minute. And when I came home, by the time I came home, he already had like a couple albums out and shit. And he just didn't get his shot. And I was like disappointed because I was like, man, you know, they gave Mike Jones a shot. You know, and like we had those like Saigon. I mean that era of New York was just ill in general. I mean with Saigon, Stack Bundles, Max B, Papoose, True Life, Jay Mills, you know, the Mano, all those guys. Like that was a dope era in the East Coast, and a lot of those guys didn't get their shot. Like I was happy that Pap got his a little bit, not to the full potential. You know, Mano had his hit record and all that shit. You know, some of them got some shine, but not, you know, not what they deserved. All those guys are dope. But when I went to jail, you know, all the Saigon records he was a dude fresh out of jail, so he was making street records, and I related to all that shit. But by the time I came home, he evolved, and his albums made me fucking grow, man, because he grew. And, you know, even though he didn't get his year, that, you know, the same year that a lot of those guys did get, like people like Mike Jones and Little Flip and shit, that, you know, there's more lyrical guys than them. No disrespect to them. But I'm just saying that Saigon never got his fair shot. But even though he didn't do that, the way I look at it is like, man, this dude didn't have a rap career. He was in state prison for, I think, like 8 years. He came home.
Yeah.
He came home, dropped these mixtapes to lit the streets on fire, got a major label deal. His album features Jay-Z, Lazy Bone, Bun B, Black Thought, you know, Fate's on it. Like, there's so many Kanye beats, like, just Swiss Beats is on it, you know, and he signed to Just Blaze. So he had that. He had a consistent acting role on Entourage on HBO, which is one of the biggest HBO shows ever. And he had all that shit. How could I say that dude's a failure, man? Like that's the epitome of success, you know. And I was proud of him for that, man, because you know how many young rappers I've seen that, you know, they got a little bit of fame and they fucked it up by getting in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I believe that Saigon should have been fucking 10 times platinum. I think his music's that good. I think he's capable of making any type of record that he wants to make. It's a shame he didn't get that shot, but it's also a blessing to the dude that was in those situations to, you know, he don't have to be a garbage man. He don't have to work at Walmart. None of that. You know, he made a living off of that shit, and he came straight from prison to do it. And you know, when I was doing the interviews and shit, like, of course I reached out to him and shit, but like, to be honest, like when I talked to Saigon, you know, he's kind of, I mean, he goes and, you know, he falls in and out of it. Like, there's times where he you know, he tells me, like, man, I want to drop some shit. And, like, he told me some, like, super crazy shit of, like, some music he has with, like, this legendary producer. Like, I'm not allowed to say it. Like, I can't say that shit, but, like, it would be fucking crazy if he did it. But there's times where he's all about it. But then there's other times he's like, man, I'm done with this shit, man. And he got his, you know, he started a website with a couple dudes. And it's called hiphopmyway.com. So anytime you see Hip Hop My Way, that's Saigon shit. And I think he likes doing it, to be honest. Like, he looks happy doing that shit because I think he's able to do that. And more importantly, man, like, that dude is all about his fucking kids, man. Like, for real. Like, that dude, he went from yard father to father. You know what I mean? And, like, that's what he does, man. He's fucking, I'm telling you, like, those kids are something special, too, man. Like, he's raising some talented kids. And, like, it's dope to see that dude, you know, come from prison to just being some mixtape rapper to being what he is now. You know, he might not be a platinum artist, no, but that dude accomplished a lot and came a far way. And, you know, he respects the fact that, you know, look, Saigon's my favorite rapper. That's my favorite rapper of all time. Him and G-Rap, they're 1A and 1B, you know. And what's dope for me is they got a bunch of records together, and that shit's ill, you know. But that's my favorite rapper, man. So I don't base it on accomplishments or nothing like that when it comes to being my favorite. And, like, that dude makes music that I like the most. So that's my favorite MC, you know. And he respects that, man. He let me hear some shit that nobody else has ever heard. And, you know, I mean, of course,